City food markets are lively, colourful and full of wonderful aromas. They tell us what food locals eat and what their habits are. Food markets tell city people that spring is late, that summer has been warmer and drier than usual, that winter has closed in. They help us understand a fundamental issue of our time, where our food comes from and how it's produced. The free and Hanseatic city of Hamburg is Germany's second largest city. Its international port gives it a maritime spirit. Hundreds of canals link a blend of old buildings with adventurous examples of modernity. One of the wealthiest cities in Germany, it features office blocks and buildings like the famous Elbphilharmonie, which looks like an ocean liner docking in the harbour. The building has given the city an international reputation as a musical hub. But not everyone knows that Hamburg is also a culinary hub, with food produce gathered from every surrounding region, as well as the North Sea. Hamburg boasts over 50 weekly food markets, and arguably the one locals most appreciate is the Isarmarkt. Nearly 1 kilometer long, it runs under the subway line between the Hohe Luftbrücke and Eppendorf-Baum stations. The Isarmarkt has nearly 200 stalls packed with seasonal vegetables and fruit, fish, meat, cheese, takeaway food, and the best sweets in town. From the most humble but delicious potatoes, asparagus, kale, free-range eggs, and freshly baked bread, to much less well-known specialities. The long strip is a window onto the best products that the region of Lower Saxony and Schleswig-Holstein have to offer. It is also a serene and relaxed opportunity for social interaction in one of Hamburg's most beautiful neighborhoods. One of the stalls closest to the subway station is owned by Andy and his family.
So, today's potatoes cost €7. That makes €19.
That's 19 here and here.
A variety of farm produce can be found on their stall according to the season.
2, 3, 4, and I'll throw one more in for free because you're such a nice guy. Need a bag?
It's too much, but they're the last. They've run out now. They'll keep well.
As well as asparagus, onions, potatoes and radishes, rhubarb has just arrived on the stand. Andy's family is based in Padenstedt, an area close to Neumünster, just north of Hamburg. Alongside generating electricity, agriculture is the main activity in the area. We're in the heart of the Schleswig-Holstein region, where farmers have large plots of land. Andy has dedicated a couple of hectares to the production of rhubarb varieties.
There are two long-established varieties, the Holsteiner Blut or Blood and the Raspberry Red, which are really old and also have a nice acidity, a certain sweetness and not much skin.
Andy has taken over the farm's 150 hectares from his father and is teaching his son the job. Rhubarb has some surprising properties.
Rhubarb is very undemanding. All it wants is to be kept a little moist and preferably supplied with plenty of manure. Look, these are still a little small.
The long stalks are harvested by pulling them, not slicing them, off the plant to avoid pathogens or fungi contaminating the cuts and damaging the plant.
Rhubarb is harvested the same way as our asparagus, so the harvest starts around the 15th of April and stops on St. John's Day, June the 24th, just like asparagus.
The luscious leaves of this plant contain oxalic acid, and they have to be harvested within a specific time frame. Otherwise, the plant becomes slightly toxic, which can cause kidney problems.
We want these to be nice and red, then they're nice and sweet.
Rhubarb stalks are very healthy and packed with vitamins and minerals. Lots of potassium, calcium, magnesium and iron, as well as vitamins A and B1.
Our rhubarb has a slight sweetness, which makes it a little distinctive. That's why it's also called raspberry red rhubarb and Holsteiner Blood.
The unique combination of sweetness and acidity has provoked studies about this special vegetable. Experiments are underway using a rhubarb molecule as a renewable energy catalyst, which could lead to rhubarb batteries.
Rhubarb is generally a very versatile vegetable which you can make great things with.
Andy Reimers inherited not just the farm from his parents, but also their know-how and the economic model that makes it sustainable. They avoid middlemen by selling their products directly. With the variety of products, their business model works by offering continuity and creating loyalty among their customers.
And that's it.
That's all for today.
Yes.
At the Isermarkt in Hamburg, our main customers really are regulars who've been with us many years, sometimes a decade or two. And sometimes there are even children who came with their parents for years and return to us as customers.
Do you need anything else?
His regulars are people who live in the district, as well as restaurants around the market and across Hamburg itself. One customer Andy's known for over 15 years is Lars Engelke. He has a restaurant 100 meters away from the Isermarkt.
Hallo, moin. Moin.
What can I do for you?
I'd like some rhubarb again.
My pleasure. Thinner or thicker?
A little thicker is better.
Wonderful. What are you making today?
Rhubarb risotto. For the new menu.
Great. Anything else?
That's it. Many thanks. We like to buy lots of products fresh at the Isermarkt. We get a lot of ideas when we go to the market. You can see all the products fresh from the field, and there are plenty of regional traders.
Lars loves developing his restaurant's food inspired by what the market offers.
You can cook a wonderful compote with rhubarb. You can also make a great salad with strawberries. If you don't cook the rhubarb quite so soft, and then simply mix it with fresh strawberries when it's cooled down.
Rhubarb is usually used for baking cakes or accompanying desserts. Lars is attracted by rhubarb's combination of acidity and sweetness.
You can always make every dish a little different or a little better. You shouldn't always leave a dish as it is.
Lars Engelke wanted to be a radio presenter, but he was so overwhelmed by a passion for cooking that he made it his job. And when he found a bistro close to the market, he went for it.
Moin, 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 moin.
The rhubarb is sliced at the tip and peeled, then cut into small cubes. I add a bit of rhubarb juice to the rhubarb. Then I let it simmer for a bit with jam, sugar, and vanilla.
For the risotto, shallots are first fried in oil. Then rice is added and simmered with vegetable stock and a drop of wine.
Then comes the rhubarb, which we cook about 5 to 10 minutes maximum, till it's a bit translucent and soft. Then I put it aside and let it steep a bit.
Once the rice is cooked, the dish is served with lukewarm rhubarb, rhubarb sauce, freeze-dried raspberries, a seasonal salad, and a beetroot coral tuile. Customers here taste products harvested yesterday, bought at the market this morning, and freshly transformed into a delicious dish for lunch.
From our terrace, you can see the start of the Isemarkt. Guests and regulars can check how full the market is, or they can check how full the terrace is from the Isemarkt to see if they can have coffee in the sun.
One of the smallest stalls at the Isemarkt is completely purple.
Tuck in. Help yourself.
This is Günther. He only sells products from Lüneburg Heath.
Do you want some tea? It's made from erica blossom.
Yes, please.
Cold, healthy and free.
Cold is good.
Now you won't get gout for 3 days.
3 days, okay. I'm not at risk anyway.
So we need to drink a cup every 3 days.
That's my ice cool calculation.
He uses mutton to make sausages, salami, cold cuts, mince for pasta sauce, and savory meatballs.
We have 2 mainstays, moorland sheep and heather blossom.
Ah, yes, exactly.
We make liqueurs from the blossom, a jelly, a tea blend, and a syrup. And we process the sheep ourselves. Try this, please.
What is it?
This is a moorland mutton meatball, which I like to offer because it's 100% moorland sheep. No pig has any business here. We get the meat from the Nature Preserve Association. They have 7 herds, and it's always the young rams, or mainly the young rams, that are slaughtered.
The best of the best.
Poor guys. If they want something from the girls, the flock gets restless.
The meat has a unique, incredible taste, totally different to what we're used to.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
In the early 1800s, most of the North German countryside was heathland, with shrubs growing on acidic and infertile soil. Plants survived because of mild temperatures, the surrounding marsh areas, and the sheep's natural maintenance. Günther stays in contact with the shepherds living on Lüneburg Heath, visiting them when he can.
Moin, Ralf.
Moin.
Mensch, habe ich...
Finally found you.
Ja, Mensch, haben wir uns.
We chose a nice day. It's starting to bloom.
Und es blüht ja doch einigermaßen, ne?
Surprisingly well. It rained again last week, 10 liters. That got it going.
So it's a light purple shimmer.
Yes, last year was nicer, but it's still very beautiful.
This beautifully coloured plant is called Kaluna, or common heather, and is closely related to the larger erica flower. The heathland is maintained thanks to grazing by the North German breed of moorland sheep. They gnaw on saplings, preventing the spread of birch and pine trees, and eat shrubs before they grow too old. Keeping the heath young, dense, and free from cobwebs favours bee pollination and therefore the blossom. Günther Lehmann-Böhm has always been attracted by these beautiful landscapes, and, having sold his bookshop, he travelled until he found his own paradise on earth.
Wir beziehen unser Fleisch vom...
We get our meat from the Nature Reserve Association. They have 7 herds, and each herd has between 400 and 600 animals. And they only supply 2 butchers in northern Germany.
Norddeutschen Raum.
Every mating season, young rams are marginalised by the older males.
And these are the animals that the shepherd weeds out. In nature, they'd be eaten by wolves, so we prefer this method.
Established in 1909, the nature reserve's 234 square kilometres are part of one of the largest contiguous heaths in northwestern Europe. In a rented restaurant kitchen, Günther prepares what he sells at the market.
The nice thing about the recipe for moorland mutton meatballs is that you can also buy all the ingredients at the market.
The ingredients either come from the park or the Isermarkt itself.
2 kilos of minced meat make 25 meatballs. So for 2 kilos of mince, I take 200 grams of breadcrumbs, 4 eggs, 5 onions, and mix it all together.
There's nothing more to these meatballs than the unique taste of lean meat from the sheep grazing on the heath.
I sear them like a steak on each side, and then they're put in the oven for 40 minutes at 150 degrees.
There's always a queue in front of Klaus Harry's stand where an entire summer fruit season is represented. Apples, the last of the cherries, and a variety of plums.
£1 and £1. How long have we been selling on the market? Come November, it'll be 49 years. So next year, we'll celebrate our 50th anniversary.
There are so many plum varieties. They all have different characteristics and ripen at different times.
They're both solid, but the Schönberger's main appeal is its unique, great taste. Not only is it sweet, but it has such a great aroma. It's delicious raw, and if you bake it or cook it, it becomes even more intense. Do you want a piece to go? I've got some, thanks.
OK. Canals, small ports and lighthouses, churches, mills and farmhouses reveal the Altländer region's checkered past. It is one of Germany's and arguably Europe's largest fruit orchards. It's been producing fruit since the 14th century. This is Twilenfleet, to the east of Hamburg, on land close to the Elbe River. It was once a constantly flooded marsh area, and the soil remained particularly rich after the construction of protective dikes. The Eckhoff family have their farm here, and Klaus Harry and his son are out to check their late summer plums while collecting some for the market tomorrow morning. The plums alone guarantee a good income for several months.
This year we harvested the first ones on July the 20th, starting with the Tigera variety. Our range allows us to sell plums until the end of October, or maybe even the beginning of November with the top-end plus variety. Then we stop.
These are still the only good ones, right?
Yes.
This one's a bit softer and a nice color. But this one's also colored and it's still as hard as a rock. Nobody likes that. Here's another nice one.
Now they're picking Schönberger plums, which may not look ripe, but are ready. Tasting them is the best way to find out.
Tastes good.
Yeah, just like it's supposed to, right?
Yes.
That's exactly how they should be. The stone comes out easily, deliciously sweet.
For Klaus Harry Eckhoff and his son Niklas, it is very important to be able to maintain both the family's and the region's fruit-growing traditions. They don't want this area to become just a tourist resort.
OK, but to bake a cake, I'd recommend the Schönberger.
The main thing is that the stone comes out.
They both separate easily, but this one's better.
Then I'll take that.
Back at the market, Klaus Harry can start to promote the baking plums, which some of his customers are eagerly awaiting.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I still need 4 kilos for my plum tarts, the Schönbergers, please.
Good choice.
You can put them straight in here if you like.
Yes, but we'll take a detour via the scales.
Ah, we'll take that.
So, straight in the plum box?
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful.
Great, thanks. And I'll pay afterwards as usual?
All right, yes.
So, madam, your turn?
Every year, Tim buys plums for his bakery at Karl Harry's stall and makes a typical Altländer plum cake.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
His stall is, in fact, a bakery. When he had the idea of selling at the Isermarkt, he thought he'd not only offer typical Altländer baked products, but also bake them on the spot. Leaving at 2:30 in the morning, he collects baked goods and semi-baked doughs from the region for the market. By 6:30, he's at the stall, and as soon as the oven is warm, it's filled with bread and cakes. His Altländer plum tart is very simple. After preheating the plums so they're nice and juicy, he adds sugar and cinnamon.
Then we bake it in the oven for 25 minutes, and the result is a plum tart just like Grandma's.
Pflaumenkuchen wie zu Omas Zeiten.
Tim Langeheiner started the stall after arriving in Hamburg without a job. His intuition and the market spirit inspired him to try his luck here.
And a spelt loaf.
My pleasure, a spelt loaf. Shall I pack that?
Yes, please. They smell delicious today, too.
Yes, fresh from the oven.
Really?
Cheers, bis bald.
Once the plums have cooked sufficiently, but not too much, Tim takes the tart out of the oven.
The moment the oven opens and there's that buttery smell and the aroma of the plums, then a lot of people come with a lot of positive feelings. They associate this smell with the past, with tradition, with Grandma's favorite plum tart. And that's exactly what I want to achieve.
His childhood memories of the small bakery across the road from his home were the trigger that made him pursue something new for the market, even though his products are based purely on old traditions.
I like the sourness of the plum, the sweet and sour, but I'd say most people like it with whipped cream.
Sweet treats are also sold at one of the Isemarkt's oldest stores. The great-grandfather of the woman running the stall today was among the market's founders and set up his stall in 1949.
Mocha hearts, your orange things, and the almond cocoa.
Mandelkakao.
Oh, die habe ich versteckt. I've hidden them.
Habe ich versteckt. Also, nein.
So mocha nougat, dark orange slices and cocoa almond.
Kakaomandel.
They've been selling most of their sweets for 70 years. Biscuits, lollipops, wine gums, chocolate pralines, truffles, candy bars, toffees, sweets with tempting names, even dog biscuits.
Naturally, as always, I'll need some cinnamon truffles too. 200 grams.
My pleasure, but we can try one right away.
Oh, thank you. Delicious.
Are they nice and creamy?
Just how they should be.
Wonderful.
Sabine took the reins of the family business some years ago.
Yes, I do.
And is now the head of both production and sales. The Pingel-Grashoff family live in a little farming village close to the Kiel Canal in the Schleswig-Holstein region. They make their bonbons close to home. When they're not at the market, the whole family is involved in producing the sweets. Sabine's husband, her father, their 2 daughters, and a few collaborators.
Hello, sweetheart. Everything all right?
I'm glad you came. You can pour it in now.
Yeah?
I can turn on the machine.
Did you put everything in?
It's all in there.
I'll pour and you stir, right?
Yes.
They are busy all year round, as sweets are also seasonal.
It starts with Valentine's Day, then Easter, where we have lots of things shaped like Easter eggs. Then it's summer with more jelly and sweets, and after summer, autumn's back again. Then there are other products, some with a little alcohol to warm you up a bit. And then it's Christmas.
Today they're making their famous Stamper lollipop, a sweet that was invented by accident. Some years ago, they were making a sweet with water, sugar, egg whites, and a pinch of aniseed, but the mixture was too squishy.
Dad was going to throw the mixture away, but I said, you know what, don't do that. Let's quickly make some lollipops with it. So we rolled it out like a sausage, quickly cut it, and then we put a stick in there and brought them into circulation.
In this version, Sabine adds salmiak, a licorice flavoured with ammonium chloride, also called salty licorice. It's a common flavour across Northern Europe.
Die Kunden kamen dann eine Woche später und meinten,
the customers came back a week later and said, oh, we'd like that nice lollipop we got last time. And my father said, ooh, that was actually a bit of an accident, but I'll try to make it the same way. And we managed to recreate the mixture again. So, I think we're done. Now we can have breakfast. Karen, Gerd.
I want chili seed.
What did you say?
I want chili seed.
It doesn't matter. We're working. Ländchen, Hannah.
Breakfast together is a lovely tradition where various production issues can also be tackled.
Right then, bon appetit.
After the magic mixture has rested, it's taken to be pressed. It must be kept humid until it's been shaped and coated. It needs the consistency of a soft chocolate bar. If it gets too hard, the texture of the sweet will be totally different. For Sabine and the Pingel-Grasshoff family, every kind of sweet has gone through a similar development process of trial and customer testing. They now manufacture up to 300 different bonbons. The next morning, the Stamper lollipops are at the market stand, together with everything currently in production.
And here I have a licorice cream praline, but it's super soft. It's best to eat the whole piece at once. You can explain what's in it. How to suck it, eat it, or chew it. It sounds a bit silly at the moment, but we still provide little tips like this. And the customers really like it.
I can't set that against tax, can I?
No, unfortunately, that's not possible yet. Here you go.
The long row of historic buildings along the Iserstraße gave its name to the market. It runs parallel to the Iserbeck Canal and developed predominantly between 1900 and 1914, over 100 years ago. Before World War II, it became a focal point of bourgeois Jewish life in Hamburg. Almost 300 so-called stumbling stones on Iserstraße commemorate the Holocaust victims who lived here. Also known as Hamburg's Notting Hill, the Isarmarkt is probably the most beautiful and popular of Hamburg's weekly markets.
Coffee has to be hot. If it's warm, then my machine's broken.
Thanks to the railway bridge, the market sits in the shade in summer, but it's also protected from rain and snow during winter, meaning shopping's a pleasure throughout the seasons. But what makes this market special is above all the authenticity of its vendors and the variety of local foods on offer. One stall stands out at the Isarmarkt for its range of products. It offers all sorts of fruits, vegetables, some dairy products, and even bread.
That's a little over a pound. Is that all right?
These products come from a biodynamic farm a few kilometers northeast of Hamburg. This particular kind of farming considers soil the fundamental element in agriculture.
The cabbage colours are awesome.
Excuse me?
I said the colours of the cabbages are awesome.
Beautiful, aren't they?
The soil should not only be cultivated in a sustainable way, but also continuously regenerated. One of the many vegetables they grow on the Wohlsdorf estate is this orange pumpkin.
Dankeschön.
Hi.
Hi, Konsti. How's it looking?
Very good. We're done with that now. We can load your tractor right away.
Should I get you more boxes?
Yeah, of course. We'll empty this one, and then we can fill up this tractor again.
Konstantin Maftai emigrated from Romania, and since then he's been working for the family that rents the estate. The principles on which they base their agriculture suit him well.
Ja, zur Landwirtschaft in Deutschland kam ich ja so.
I came to farming in Germany as a seasonal worker 20 years ago. I fell in love with this place and this family.
Wie auch immer so ist, ich habe mich verliebt in diesen Ort und diese Familie.
Biodynamic agriculture is holistic. It sees the soil, the animals, the products, the cosmic energy, and the people working on the farm as a whole. These principles won Konstantin over. The sense of community is as strong a principle behind biodynamic farming as the demands of the consumers. This gives the farmers' work a real boost.
We are shaped by direct marketing.
And
then we try to produce a lot of different kinds of vegetables. We have over 40 types of vegetables in cultivation.
Pumpkins and squash from the gourd family are among these and grow very well here. The Japanese squash, or Hokkaido, arrived in Germany 2 decades ago. Named after a Japanese island, it's rich in nutrients and vitamins. The skin is tender and edible when cooked, and it's suitable for salads, sauces, soups and cakes.
There are about 60 of us working here, active in farming and also marketing. Direct marketing, the farm shop and the weekly markets.
Owned by the free and Hanseatic city of Hamburg, it was leased 30 years ago specifically for organic farming. Now there's a cafe and farm shop, a bakery, a butcher, some accommodation, barns and different workshops in which seeds are cultivated to enrich their production. Switching from land to water. On the Elbe island of Wilhelmsburg, a little south of Hamburg, a few fishermen remain active, selling their catch to market traders.
Hi.
Hi, Owen.
There you are.
Gosh, it's right on time as always.
Yes.
Great, thanks.
Ah, that looks great.
Yeah, very nice catch.
Picture perfect, I'd say.
Great catch.
Cutting out the middleman is convenient for both fisherman and customer. And having freshly caught pike perch for the market can make a big difference.
Let's take a look. Once again, they're gorgeous. I can't believe you were lucky enough to catch so many.
Yes, there were 10 today.
The last few weeks have been so hard.
Yes.
Can you take it for me? Is that okay? Should I take them?
Everything's okay, it's fine.
I don't think I'll ever get used to it.
I was born here.
It's still early morning when Laurien starts serving at the Isemarkt.
Anything else?
That's it.
Wonderful. Leave the skin on? The skin's pretty, isn't it?
Yes.
Born Laurien Kalinowski, she inherited her passion for fish from her grandmother, who fled Danzig in 1945. No wonder she married into a fishmonger family.
Something like this pike perch, which we got directly from the Elbe, is a hit at the market. Because customers appreciate freshness and also the beautiful skin.
Having cut off the fins, the first thing she does is to descale the pike perch. Once that's done, she cuts it into long fillets. Pike perch is one of the tastiest, most flavor-packed freshwater fish there is.
How much?
400 grams.
The flesh is white, firm and lean.
Pike perch fillet is a more solid fish with a nice aroma. It tastes a bit stronger, and personally, I think it's the best. I always recommend my customers fry it nice and crispy on the skin. Then serve it on a bed of vegetables, on a puree, or let's say a risotto. A dream.
Pike perch is also very healthy. 100 grams of fillet contain around 84 calories and, like every fish, it offers a lot of protein.
That's what I like to hear.
Laurien's stall, of course, offers a wide variety of fish. Hamburg has always had a great fish tradition. These days, what comes from the sea is mainly imported, but what comes from the rivers is local. With winter well on its way, the fruit and vegetables on the stalls change colour. Dirk pays a lot of attention to his stall's display.
All right, 200 grams. 178, we're still missing a little.
It's his promotional strategy and a way of signalling the season.
230, can I leave it like that?
Okay.
My pleasure.
If asparagus tells us spring has arrived, this green or purple-leafed vegetable tells us that winter's here. The colder, the better.
Kale and coconut milk.
Sounds good, thanks.
The arrival of curly kale brings to the table a seasonal dish that's eagerly awaited in Lower Saxony, kale with Bregenwurst sausage.
I'd like some kale. In a bunch if you have it.
I'll have a look.
Thank you.
Dirk farms on the flat lands southeast of Hamburg, where the Elbe flows towards the city. The area, called Drage, is slowly being eaten up by residential development.
Our fields are in large part land we lease from other farmers, and a very small part is also our own land, which we work ourselves.
Dirk Meyer started farming with his father and is happy he's made it into a sustainable business. He wants to keep as much farming land as possible away from housing developers. He cultivates both the more common green kale and also the purple, stronger-tasting kale. They are of the reflex variety, which ripen from October to March. Today, he's harvesting the one which comes with the first frost.
In the past, the old varieties of kale had to have frost. That was simply so that insects like aphids, slugs, and caterpillars were destroyed by the frost and fell off the plant. That way it was kept clean.
Nowadays, organic treatments keep the plants free of insects, but the frost also boosts the taste.
And the second reason is that when kale freezes, the leaf, of course, freezes, and there's an incredible amount of moisture in the leaf that freezes. The cells burst open from the frost, and then, when it thaws, the water evaporates, and the starch and sugar are left behind.
Kale is very healthy. It provides more vitamin C than spinach and even oranges. High in potassium and vitamin B6, it's good for the heart, helps reduce weight, and generally protects us from diseases.
This is a palm tree, right? Wow. When you think about how they looked last year, right, Marvin?
We've been really lucky this year.
It makes the leaves a lot easier to pluck off when they're this loose. Finishing means, in technical terms, that you strip it. So you pluck off the leaves, and that's called stripping, which comes from the Low German dialect.
Kale stems are tough, fibrous, and rather bitter, even though some customers want them too. The leaves have a peppery taste and are slightly tangy. It's quite clear why kale is also called the Frisian palm tree.
Moin. Hi.
Hello, my dear.
I need a little kale for lunch. Have you got any?
Yes.
I'll do this myself. Can you quickly get me some potatoes and onions?
I can do that, yeah.
As on every farm, everyone has something to do.
Today my wife is cooking our traditional kale dish, the way we eat it in our region. because kale is eaten differently in every region of Germany. Here we eat it boiled, blanched with pork belly and Bregenwurst sausage.
The dish is a blast of protein and energy suitable for a region where winters can be long and unpleasant. It's simple home cooking, but what makes it delicious are the strong savory elements. To complete it, Bregenwurst sausage is added.
So, bon appetit.
All this is served with potatoes and spiced with mustard and horseradish.
That's not much.
Yes, that's true.
But it doesn't keep very well either.
It does. If you put the bag in the fridge, it keeps really well.
Does it?
Yes, it has air holes in it. It keeps well. Of course, a weekly market is really the perfect niche. And that's how we ended up at the Isemarkt in Hamburg. Naturally, we have a lot of regular customers, long-established customers who've been buying from us for a long time.
Moin, hallo. I'd like to know what that is over there, that brown root.
It's black salsify.
Black salsify? What is that?
Oh, wait, I'll show you.
With the market sales, Dirk has discovered a win-win situation.
So it's also called winter asparagus. It's a black root that's very nice and white inside, look.
Crazy.
And you can cook it like asparagus, or I can give you a nice recipe.
I'd love that. I wouldn't know what to do with it. A recipe would be great if you have the time.
We always have our recipe folder for special vegetables, and here we have a nice black salsify vegetable dish or a soup with oranges. I'd be happy to give you one.
It's a fact that younger generations are more and more interested in knowing what they eat and who produces it. Whether buying from trusted traders, discovering new fruits and vegetables, or just eating a fish roll, the Isemarkt is a fresh food city market at its best.
So, jetzt müssen wir warten. Einfach einmal probieren. Dankeschön.
Ist nicht schlimm.